Hey, did you know that Two Girls Shooting the Shit is on Instagram and Facebook? We'd love to hear your feedback, episode suggestions, or just chat with you about life. So follow, comment, and share.
Well, I mean, I don't know if who else sang this song, but it's the, God bless the broken road. Like whatever may
Oh,
be coming up. That song always comes to mind because it's like no
Me
matter
too.
what friends I've lost, whatever relationships, people who have passed, whatever have brought me to here. And if I can find and be true to myself and say I found happiness in this moment where I am in my life with my husband and my children and where I live and just where I am, then it was all for a reason. So
Hey, girl.
hey, how are you?
I am wonderful. How are you, boo?
Are you wonderful? Keep it real.
I am. I'm
How
blessed.
are you?
I
How
am.
are you?
I am wonderful. Feeling blessed. Attitude of gratitude to try to stay in that vibration. Keep that abundance coming.
Abundance. I had a
Ooh,
law professor who would sign every email. Abundance.
that's so
That was her.
freaking.
That was her like salutation.
I love her. Can you send me her info? I'm gonna add her.
Okay, I don't know if she's still teaching or what, but
Ooh, that's just, I love it.
abundance.
Abundance. See if she manifested. It's so
Probably she
fun.
manifested her way right up out of there.
It's It's so funny because what's her name? Candace Owens was like the conservative
Ugh.
person. Like I don't know much about her, but I just watched like an interview of her with Russell Brand. And I was like, okay, like she just sounds like a manifestation type of person. Just like ask the universe and believe in yourself. But that was probably the
The
light,
topic at hand
the
or
light
whatever.
version. So I don't know like her.
I have weird feelings about her because I feel like anytime a person of color espouses conservative viewpoints, white conservatives use that person as the well, see, oh look at her argument. Like it holds more water because she's black.
Yeah, it's
Like
like you're doing the same thing you don't want people to do. Like you say
yeah.
you don't. You're doing the same pandering that you say that you don't
Yeah.
want.
So whatever.
Whatever's clever, but she does have some valid points. I feel like self actualization and just like believing in yourself and
But
like,
that's not the political that's other viewpoints. That's not her
oh yeah, I don't
whatever.
know her political. She just said she's independent, but she's a Trump supporter. That's all she said on the thing. And
How
she,
can you be independent and a Trump supporter? I feel like
it's like you
independent
can be.
people,
I'm independent, and I.
independent thinkers
Uh,
do not vote Trump.
I don't know. I think independent thinkers do vote Trump, actually. They're that independent. They don't care.
That they just
F the world. F all of y'all.
anyways, so originally we were going to talk about mass shootings.
Yeah.
That's a little too heavy for me right now. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm not in the right mindset to talk about that. That's like we can go there another time because there will be more. So
That's sad. Yeah. I can't.
yeah, I
I think
can't.
there was one already.
Older.
No, I
Oh, I
think
don't
there
know.
was
I
one
can't.
since then. Like,
Oh yeah, I'm not okay with that right now. Like I just can't.
yeah.
It's not a topic that I think I'm ready for today. I'm having a day.
Ooh, why you having a day, girl?
So I don't know. So I started that blog I told you about, and I
Oh,
wrote
yay.
an entry that I haven't written in over a week, and I kind of
Mm.
felt like, dang, I'm failing at this. Like, there's expectations about how often you're supposed to write and stuff like that.
Mm.
And I feel like I have thoughts all the time. I just don't have a lot of time to sit down and process it and maybe put it into words.
Same. I know what you mean.
Um, and so I was thinking about why I didn't have time, and I was like, oh, well, I spent this past week. It was spring break. I spent this past week going to the beach and doing things that like made my heart happy, made my soul
Yay.
happy. So I got to reflecting on the beach and like what it means to me, and a lot of feelings and emotions and memories. Maybe I'm feeling nostalgic
Mm-hmm.
because my parents recently moved in and they're giving me all my shit back. So there's like
Yes.
tons of pictures and
Mm-hmm.
old letters and cards and flowers pressed in yearbooks from high school, like just all that kind of stuff, right? So
Yeah.
I've just been going through like a memory time war, remembering things I had long forgotten type thing. And I thought about the idea of closure or closing a chapter, beginning a new one, because we do that several times in life,
Mm-hmm.
right? Why are you looking at me like that? Oh,
Because I identify with you. That's all.
Yeah, so it's just it's a feeling of nostalgia. It's also a feeling of maybe being reminded of things that were left loose
Mm-hmm.
and unfinished. And so that's just, I guess, where I'm at in my head right now is like, what's unfinished?
Mm.
Can you finish it? Is it just something you just have to be like, that's done, keep it moving?
What does closure,
You know,
what is closure?
I don't know. I feel like in my brain, the concept of closure is like wrapping something up nicely in a little bow and it's done. You
Yeah.
know, like cutting feelings to that,
Mm-hmm.
cutting any type of physical reaction to that. You know,
Yeah.
like I feel like, for example, if you and a good friend get into a big fight
Mm-hmm.
and you're no longer friends, closure is the moment when you no longer feel bad about it or you no longer
Yes.
miss that, like you're at peace with whatever happened.
Yeah.
And you know, and for relationships, like right after you break up, there's no, you don't have closure yet. It's closure when your body and your heart decide to close that and put it away and be done with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see what
That's
you
what I
mean.
think. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I feel like it's attachment. Like it's like I had this expectation and it wasn't met. And I know for myself, I have mostly closure, but I definitely have those cases where I'm like, everything lined up, the universe lined up like this. Like, why didn't that work out? Like, why didn't things work out in this way? And it's just like, why is that? But then other times when I see, like, looking at the past and relationships, friendships and things like that that may not have worked out, it's like we were saying before, that reason, season, or lifetime. It
Mm-hmm.
There is closure in this, like, I don't wish, I have no ill feelings towards this person. It's like our ships have sailed. We have different mindsets. You know, I'm going to
Wish them
therapy and
well
trying
and
to
kind of move
heal.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm trying to forgive and just have
Yeah.
gratitude for that time. And it's like,
Right.
I feel like with those, it's closure. And it's so funny because I remember I would love to, like, what they call it, echo chambers, where you're just talking to friends and then they're just like gassing you up on whatever you're talking about. So it'll be like, oh, I can't believe this person did this, this, and this. And then, yeah, yeah, right. I can't believe. And then it's like, wait a minute. Now I can believe because I think through that you get compassion and empathy. You can see what motivates other people. Everybody has a story. They're coming from their own perspective and not
Yeah.
taking it away from me like, oh, this is nothing to do with me. And not saying like taking no accountability, but just saying that we all are responsible for the way that we act in this world.
Hmm. So what do you do if you can't, like for the closure part, I get what you're saying is the reason, season, or lifetime,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I feel like as far as closure is concerned, there's a lot of times where you're done with that reason or you're done with that season
Mm-hmm.
and you're fine and you've moved on, not a problem. But there's still an understanding that you desire, or maybe it's just me. There's an understanding to the ends or to the conflicts in certain relationships that I do not have,
Yeah.
and I guess I'm okay not having them because I'm living my life
Mm-hmm.
and I'm fine. It's not like it's something that plagues me every day, but sometimes I wonder, like, what the hell happened?
For
You
instance,
know, or
with
like what?
us, with our mentor who disappeared.
Yeah,
Like for me, that I didn't get closure on that until what, this year? Because even last
right.
year, I'm sitting in a group text, hey, you ignored us, but we still love you or something like that. We
Why you
forgive you.
gigging?
Yeah. And then, the person never responded. So it's like, oh yeah, and I think I understood. I'm like, wait, I was putting all of this burden on myself. I don't know what they're going through. I don't know. Maybe they had an image, because we did see that person as a mentor. Maybe they had an image that they felt like they're not living up to. And so they were embarrassed to talk to us.
Possibly.
So it's like, oh, wait, I
It's
was
not
so,
about
yeah, I
you.
was so
It's
stuck
not.
in
Yeah,
myself
yeah,
that it's all about me. And then so I can have some compassion and be like, okay, I can let that go. And it feels so much better too than to be,
yeah.
thinking like that. And the only times that I don't have closure is when I can't come to terms with the outcome because I feel like, what if? Like, what if this were to happen? What if, and so that's something that I struggle with because I definitely can't say I have 100% closure on all things, but kind of like you with family members and things like that, people passing away. Um, it was getting pictures,
I think that's the hardest.
yeah, picture
The
books.
passing away, when people are no longer there for you to seek closure or for
Mm-hmm.
you to resolve something. I feel like that's hard. And I feel like there's two instances in which I still struggle. I'm not struggle. It's not like I'm sitting here going, oh Lord, but but there's one person from my high school who took his life.
Dang.
And on Facebook, I remember our last exchange was me talking shit to him. About he used to cheer for USC. He cheered hard. I'm a Bruin. I went to UCLA. He didn't go to USC, so I would always rag on him like, "You didn't even go there, why?" And I remember saying something. Just I got him. How you can do that, like friendly, whatever. And then he was gone.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing I said to
you
him.
got the last
and
word.
I know but it was kind of like that's not. And maybe it's a hope that he understood that wasn't. It was in play, But I don't. I mean, it probably meant nothing to him, obviously, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was something in my head because it was just like you're gone, and I hope you knew where my heart was. You know what I mean? And it wasn't.
I feel like,
and there's no way to say that, now.
Well, they can
So
see you. I'm just kidding, but
yeah. Well,
what was
hope
I gonna
not.
say? Like this
that scares me. That whole concept scares me. We can
I
talk
want
about
to
it later,
believe in that. I want to, but it's. I feel like what do they say? People. I feel like that's why, like, I know it's so cheesy, and I always say it all the time, but it's like you have to live your truth. If you have a banter going on with someone, that's your truth. That's the way you interact. So the fact that you got the last word in and the person died doesn't take away from the intent and the meaning. So unless you had a negative intent or you were trying to hurt them or make them feel bad about themselves, then I wouldn't be upset because that's the way you interacted. That was your banter.
I mean, maybe I was. He went to USC, or he was cheering for USC, so maybe I was trying to make him feel bad. Like that's just kind of what
you have
it
to
was.
ask yourself if it wasn't teasing, like if it was like not playful and.
It was teasing, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's different.
Whatever.
And you said you had a banter, so.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you were like F you or something and then the person died, I can understand that because that's the way you left things. You'll have to come to terms with that. But like you mentioned earlier about pictures, when I had gotten a bunch of family members' pictures and stuff and started going through them, I was so shocked because I braced myself. I'll never forget. I said, let me get some wine. I'm going to have some wine. Cool.
Set the scene.
Yeah, set the scene.
Light a candle.
And it had been so long. Gosh. They were holding on to those pictures for years, my family, and for years. And I was just like, that is crazy. So by the time I saw them, I was like, whoa, like I forgot about these memories and so it ended up being fun and just like, I wasn't crying.
Joyous.
Yeah. I wasn't joyous at all. I mean, I wasn't sad at all. It was joyous. And I was it helped me get
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it helped me get closure. And then it was like so overwhelming. I feel like I had like a spiritual experience or something where that's all I needed. That was that thing I was waiting for and I had no idea. Once I had those, everything changed. Like holidays and all of those different kinds of things were more enjoyable. It was like I wasn't living in the past anymore. And I don't know what clicked.
So that's closure.
Yeah.
I mean, closure doesn't always have to be a sad ending to something.
Yeah.
It could be a celebration of what was and feeling good about what you can remember from that time.
Yeah, I guess there's no longing.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, so
good closure.
Yeah, good closure. And so a lot of things I had to change my mindset on because otherwise I would never have closure. Like I was just watching some guy on YouTube talk about how people ghost or something and how people expect, for people to explain why. But closure is that ability to let go, I feel. And it's just like, you know what? I know who I am. If you don't like it, you don't like it. I don't like everybody. Like, why do we put this big burden on ourselves and on other people? And so saying, okay, c'est la vie, that's it. Maybe, if I can see a way I was interacting or something for feedback to go on to the next person and not behave that way. But it's just like, just be fine with it. It happens. So yeah, you got to what are you going to do? Like, what is the benefit of stewing in it? Like, what is that going to change? I can see if you're doing self-reflection, you're like, okay, this has happened this many times. I'm the constant. Like, what the hell am I doing? Like, maybe you need to go see a professional.
Everybody keeps ghosting on you.
Yeah.
Well, I also think though that this concept of ghosting though is like, if somebody bounces, and I know I have done this before.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
And if there's no desire on either part to reach out again, then maybe that reason is done or season is done, or you just didn't mean that much to each other.
Yeah.
Like
But I
maybe
think,
again, it was like convenience. We talked about it in one of
yes,
our earlier
convenience,
episodes, a friendship of convenience, a relationship of convenience.
ego
Um,
boosts as well.
yeah, maybe it was that, or just, hey, like you live in this location, I live in this location, we have free time, let's hang out,
Yeah,
or whatever.
exactly.
But
But
I don't want people to think, that's that's why, I'm out of touch or whatever half the time. But it can be a reason.
oh, you out here ghosting?
No, but I mean, just like, there's different variations of friendships and relationships, and so that's
That's
one
different. See, I don't feel
variation.
like that's ghosting, though. You mean like when you'll stop talking to a friend maybe for a year or so, and then you just pick back up like it's nothing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that to me is just life.
that's life.
That's what
Yeah,
adult life is.
but
But
I'm
there
saying
are
if
some
you're
friends there's no
courting,
picking back up.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like if I haven't texted you in a year, let's say, that's very long for me. If I haven't texted you in a year, then obviously you haven't texted me in a year.
right?
So I
Have you ever
guess we're
forgotten
good.
about people and been like, "Oh, shit, I forgot you existed." Oh,
Yeah,
damn. And I'm pretty good. Like, that's bad.
that's really bad.
And that's why I
That's really
wonder in
bad.
this social media age, and it was something I didn't realize until maybe last year or this year, or maybe I did realize, but I was in denial about it, is that people sometimes they don't really care about the relationship for the relationship's sake, but more for a number or a stat. So I remember there would be
That
people,
sounds nasty. I don't like that.
there would be people who would not talk to me, and then like I would be the last one reaching out, because I've lived so many different places. I'm very good at keeping in touch, as you know,
You are.
and so
Yeah.
I'm
Yes,
like,
ma'am.
I'm really good. So
As you know.
so I'd be like, okay, like I haven't heard from this person in a year, or like I'm just gonna delete them from my social media immediately. A text, oh my god, you delete, and it's like, what
They'd
am
be
I, a
stalking on the
number?
low. That's what that is. No, they'd be stalking on the low, probably.
Yeah,
Just trying to see what you're up to. There's a lot of people who
yeah.
creep on social media, don't interact, don't engage, but they are looking at all your stuff.
That's why I like Instagram, because it's
I
like
love
you it's
Instagram.
it's not a connection. It's just like like
It's
a,
not very interactive.
yeah, exactly.
Not as much as Facebook. I hate
Yeah.
Facebook.
I'm not on there.
I hate it. Worst. The worst.
But yeah,
But
closure.
yeah.
I feel like I never got closure with Facebook because it's, it's always easy to just open up another account if I feel like it,
It'll be back.
right?
It
It's
never
like,
truly goes away.
and I'm trying. Let's see. It's been a few months. We'll see. But yeah, I'm trying to
Closure.
think. Ever since my mind has changed, I don't think there's anything that I need closure on outside of maybe finding out more about my birth family since I'm adopted. But even that, like the
And
people,
is that closure or is that just like
discovery.
curiosity or a
Yeah.
self-discovery thing? Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I
a
feel
good
like
point.
that's not really
Yeah.
closure.
Yeah, like I don't feel like I'm
It's
missing.
opening. It's
Yeah.
an opening of something rather than
Yeah.
a
That's
because I guess
true.
closure, just the word means to close something, to end something. It's like to finalize it, right? Closure.
I don't know, girl.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't look
don't
it up.
know. I think a lot of the
We've
hardest times are when and I don't know how this fits into all of the awakenings and things that you're thinking about and going through, whatever, but the times where you need, and I don't know if that's the right word, but that's the word I'm using, you need an apology. You need someone to acknowledge. I don't know how else to explain, but there, I don't know. I feel like that's a time when you need closure. You're like shaking your head. You're like, no, girl,
Yeah, I'm like
don't
I have a
don't
lot
seek
of
that apology.
trespassers against me. I'm just kidding. And I'm like, I guess once that switch flips, you'll see. You just like it. You don't even need an apology. It's not about you. This person is, these people, were coming from their own mind, maybe their own pathologies. Like I'm thinking for my life. And it's like, I don't know I'm not in their head. I can't experience that. An apology isn't going to do anything, especially like you can't make people apologize.
Right, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, that I
And
know.
then there can also be words.
So it's not the words, it's not the apology, it's the acknowledgement of the situation, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't have a specific, I have several examples, I guess, probably, but I don't have one specifically in mind. But just, if somebody
Can you give a
does something
hypothetical?
wrong to you, a hypothetical, no, because any hypothetical I give is going to be deemed to be an experience probably from my past. And I'm not talking about any particular person, but just the idea, like if something goes wrong, like something that causes hurt, like the lack of an apology or the lack of acknowledging, hey, I hurt you, whether or not you're sorry, at least acknowledging, hey, I caused you pain. And I don't know if that's just me needing, I mean, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, that could
But I
be a
think
you thing, but it's pretty common.
yeah, but I feel like there is something to that. There is something to, or maybe the idea that you can forgive somebody, but can you forgive somebody without an acknowledgement that, like, forgiveness is a weird thing too. Maybe we can talk about that too, but I feel
Yeah.
like
That's part of closure.
to being over something, being
See, I
done
feel
with it.
too.
There's a lot of, you said trespassers. There's been a lot of trespassers in my, life or whatever too. And obviously moving past it, not giving it much thought or weight aside from this episode, I guess.
Yeah.
But just, these pictures and all these things kind of brought things back up.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking like, oh, wait a minute, we never wrapped that up, or that never got, the ends never got tied up, or there was no closure. It's closed.
I have
but there's
something.
no
Okay, I
closure.
have something.
Do you know what I mean?
I have something I have no closure on.
Okay, let's hear it, girl.
And it's like so funny because I thought I did until I thought about it and felt some kind of way. So I'm like, oh, I don't have closure.
Right. That's how I'm feeling today.
I just didn't
thought I
think
did until I
about
felt
it.
some kind of way.
Yeah, I just
Right.
wasn't thinking about it.
Because it's off your mind. You don't care.
Yeah,
Right.
so I was like 14 or something, and these kids totally set me
You
up.
go way back.
Yeah, they totally set me up and stole my wallet. Like the girl told me to walk out, and I walked out with her. And instead of just leaving, I went to grab my bag, and your intuition tells you. You always listen to your intuition. I went to grab my bag, and she was like, "No, leave it." And I didn't even think. I was just like, "Oh, well, this is."
You're 14.
Yeah, this is like a new person that I don't usually talk to, so I was excited to talk to her. And then it was some BS about a guy liking me or something like that. So of course I go back and the wallet is gone. And the two guys are gone. And so I reported it and there was nothing they could do. And it's so funny. Back in the MySpace days, I found the guy. So this is like a decade later.
Look at you.
Or even more.
Get that closure, girl.
And
Get
I was
that
like,
closure.
yeah, remember when you stole my wallet? And he was like, huh? Because it was probably nothing to him.
Nothing to him.
Nothing. Yeah, right? And that's something
Maybe that's what it is. Things that are very formative to you may have maybe nothing but a blip to somebody else.
Exactly, because everybody's living their own reality.
Like it's like all the talk shows we used to watch, growing up. Like, oh yeah, you bullied me my whole life. Look at me now, I'm buff, like, or
Right.
whatever. And they would come back, and some of these people would be like, I don't even remember saying anything to
Right.
you. And it could have been they were going through their own stuff.
Everybody is
And-
always going through their own stuff.
Right. But I mean, for the person getting picked on or bullied,
Yeah.
it was their whole universe, their
Yeah.
whole world. So much so that they grew up wanting to show you what that bullying motivated them to do or whatever.
Exactly.
So that's I guess that's perspective. Like something that could be so huge to you was not intended to be. It could just be a whatever.
Yeah.
Wow, he didn't remember Jack and said, how many wallets did he steal?
Right? Exactly. Or
Dang.
or he could have just been playing dumb, which is fine. But I kind of let it go there. There is closure a little bit, but there's not ever going to be closure with that. That was, like you said, a formative experience. And
a trust that probably impacted your ability to trust new friendships, maybe, or new people.
because I already didn't
Maybe
trust people, and it was like a test almost to myself. I was like, I knew something was going to happen. But yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
but I tried it, and then the fact that there was nothing they could do, and I was just thinking, wow, this, like, I felt cheated. It was like an injustice, right? I was not
Yeah.
whole.
Well, I mean, you got your wallet stolen.
Yeah. Even though
That
there
is
was
an
like
injustice.
probably like $10 in there, but still.
If that, 14. Dang, that's more money I had, 14.
It's the
I didn't
principle.
carry money. I had lunch money, I guess. But closure.
Yeah. So
I still just feel like apologies.
apologies. Why is that? I feel like that is something, because I know for a fact, like, there are people who will never be able to apologize. Like, they're dead. They'll never be able to apologize.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? for me, I realized there was something I had to feel inside that was soaked up all of that. And I don't know if that's compassion or what, but it's something that soaked up all of that need to get an apology from people or anything. And like that indignance or whatever, kind of like when we were talking about ghosting, I would be like, okay, you ghosted me. Excuse me, you ghosted me. And it's like, like who does that?
That does sound like you. You always be quick to be putting something in somebody's face like, did you know that you did this? I love it.
And I'm just like, wow, I was really out here doing that. But yeah, I was. And so, I mean, it didn't give me any better closure. It's like it was my ego trying to protect itself. Like, I need you to make me feel this because I feel like there was an injustice done to me. So.
Ooh, my bladder is full.
Girl, you need a potty break? You sitting here rolling, rolling.
Last watermelon.
Rolling.
That whole watermelon.
Rolling.
Down a real bowl. All right, I'll be right back.
Okay, me too. I'm going to go while I'm at it because God don't like ugly. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know what I was trying to say, but yeah, I just feel like I no longer have a need for people.
You go continue. Yeah, I don't know what I was going to say, but yeah. So.
I don't have a need for anybody to apologize for me because it's more like I've come to terms with the way things and I think that just comes with age or I don't know what it came with, but it was almost like overnight, like 2021, I just started waking up like
like I don't care.
Like I ain't got time for this bullshit. Life is short. God damn it. Once I did that, I realized, wow, I've been thinking about life like everything so seriously. And it's not that serious.
It can be serious. It can be.
I mean,
I
definitely know
it's such a weird thing to say, oh, it's not that serious because it really isn't. Like some of us really take ourselves way too seriously.
Way too seriously.
But then it also is very fucking serious. Like it's life, just one of them things.
But it's so funny. It's like we were joking about the other day, I think. It's like if you spill sauce on your shirt, it's not the end of the world. If someone is not talking to you because you spilled sauce on your shirt, then that person...
Okay, well, that was dumb.
That person is
married at first sight. That's dumb. That's really childish. That's a petty thing. But, I mean, I don't know. Is there anybody you've dated or... I mean, you say you don't have relationships or haven't, but, like, is there anybody that... I mean, I know through the process, yeah, like there have been times where you needed closure, as we all do, whatever. And I remember, looking at people's stuff and trying to find stuff with you and stuff, doing all that. How did you move past that? There's one in particular I'm thinking of, and I know you know who I'm talking about. So, I mean, how did you move past?
But that's what I'm saying, expectations.
How do you find closure? Is that a solo activity or is that something that has to be collaborated on?
I think it's a solo.
Or is that like individual?
I think it's individual because again, I think honestly it goes with the C word. You're not selling your power. You're not loaning out your power. You're claiming your own personal power. And to say, I can't believe I was leasing out. Like, oh, like all of these, it was everybody I dated pretty much. I would always, be like, oh, who is this person dating now? Or who is it? And it's just like, why?
Well, I feel like sometimes that's normal. That's just nosy sometimes.
But
I mean, sometimes it's a
validating
me. Thing like, are they happy without me or something
like
that?
It was more
sometimes
an
you just want to know.
An egoic exercise for me. It was like, oh, look at that. Oh, that's what you do.
I remember, yes. Look at this wedding registry. No, they didn't do this or whatever.
Right?
Yeah,
like, wow,
I don't know. Sometimes though, you just get online and you're bored, and
that's
it's
true.
2:00 in the morning,
but I think that's
someone to search.
Yeah,
even searched everybody else.
Right.
Went through all Instagram, and now it's time to go check up on so and so.
I've been trying to do that with Ancestry DNA. I mean, let me search for myself since I.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's so funny you mentioned that because I did, and I knew exactly why. I forgot it was like because I was listening to one of these YouTubes or something, and they said something that reminded me of someone I dated, and I I tried to look him up. I didn't really like, but it wasn't like an exercise where I was spending like an hour doing, it was like I did a couple of searches
Yeah.
and then I was like, okay, I'm done. Whereas in the past, it would be like, oh, and it was almost
It would
like
consume your whole night.
it was coming from the mindset of what is missing within me? What did I do wrong? What did this other person do right? And why did it happen? And it's like, that's not how the world works. I mean, it could be how the world works,
Could
but
it
it's like,
also be that you were missing that person? Could it be that you were missing that person? That's what was missing. And you just wanted to be a part of whatever their
yeah,
life
well,
was
no, that's
at
what I'm
that
saying.
time.
No,
Right? Or
what I'm saying is like, I wasn't looking them up to really care even about what they were doing or how they were doing. It was more for my ego. It was to look and to see who they were with and compare myself to that person. You
oh,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
that's
And
bad.
then finding all of the things that
Yeah.
I
I'm
didn't
just
have.
nosy.
Yeah, finding all of like this is hindsight. Like in the moment I didn't feel like I was
Right,
doing
right,
that.
right.
But it's like,
Right.
yeah, it was a comparison thing. Like, oh, maybe if I could have just done this, or maybe, like this is beyond my
Or this
control,
color. Maybe he likes this color. Yeah.
right? Or stupid stuff,
Shoulda,
just
woulda, coulda.
petty. And it's like, what's for me is for me. And that's the way I operate now. For the
Yeah.
most part, like I said, like the wallet story, there are probably a handful of things I probably will never get closure on.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but they're not
And
from
you're
a
okay with that.
yeah. So I think that in
Yes.
itself is closure because it's not a longing
I mean,
anymore.
I'm there.
It's like
I'm
an
there with that.
academic
Yes.
thing. Like,
Yes. Yes. There's no emotional connection for me on any of these unclosed items or whatever. Like I feel like I don't
open.
have um, like an emotional connection, a feeling attached to it. I think it's just, hey, like some pictures or something sparked a memory, and now I'm like, wait a minute, what happened with that? Like, I don't think it's an emotional thing. So does that mean if it's academic, like you say, you do have closure,
If it doesn't
or
phase
is
you,
closure if it doesn't phase you? Yeah,
then
yeah,
you have closure. But if you find your heart, well, for me, like that's how I know. I just go listen to my body, do a body scan. Like, is my heart rate
a body
increasing?
scan,
Yeah.
body scan.
Is my heart rate increasing? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't have those reactions. I
So
don't
if
know
I
that
don't have,
no, yeah,
it's the passion, like it's a passion behind it, I guess. And if it's not, it's like mostly just like I'm just curious, like you said, curiosity, like, huh? Guess I'll never know, what happened to that wallet or what
yeah.
they did with the $10,
Damn,
And it's like, why? It's so funny. 30 years
that
later,
you
however
remember
long, I'm
that.
still
That's
remembering that,
crazy. That's crazy.
because there are definitely worse things that have happened and I've, forgiven and
Yeah.
have closure, but it's just like, I guess it's like whatever resonates with us, like that may be significant to us and not other people, just like we may be significant to ourselves and not to other people. So
Obviously,
you're not
because
old.
people
You're
ghost and people do
yeah,
stuff. So
you're not
obviously, I'm
old.
not that
We're
important.
not owed anything, and I think understanding that
Yeah.
people are coming from different backgrounds, different cultures, different beliefs, morals, all of these different things. We can't put that on other people. We have to set something within ourselves because that's all we can. We can't even control that, but that's the most we can control. And it's like, what is sitting here worrying about closure going to do? And it's not a denial because I've been through the stages of grief and all of that stuff, but it's like,
Yeah.
that's not beneficial to me in any way.
It's a waste of your energy, your time. I think it always comes back for me to, I mean, that just, well, I mean, I don't know if who else sang this song, but it's the, God bless the broken road, like whatever
Oh,
may
our
be
jam.
coming up. That song always comes to mind because it's like no
Me
matter
too.
what friends I've lost, whatever relationships, people who have passed, whatever have brought me to here. And if I can find and be true to myself and say, I found happiness in this moment where I am in my life with my husband and my children and where I live and just where I am, then it was all for a reason. So, I mean, I really do. I'm looking back, I looked at the pictures and I was like, there was a time when I would look at these pictures and see an ex-boyfriend and be like, this fool, like
Exactly.
whatever.
Talking trash.
And
Yeah.
now it's like, gosh, I hope he's happy. Like, I wonder, does he
Exactly.
have kids? Like, are they, like,
You
the
just want
hurt
nothing but
of
the
it
best.
is gone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I
Like,
think that's
it's
growth.
just like
Maturity,
it's
growth,
growth.
wisdom.
Yeah. Or just, I know there was an ex from college that reached out to me on Facebook and was like, you have a beautiful family and whatever. And I thought that was just really nice of him to do. And so then I
Right?
looked at his page and he had beautiful children, beautiful wife.
Aw.
And I'm just like, oh, like I'm just
Was
so
he poly?
happy. Like it makes me
I'm just kidding. I'm
happy.
kidding.
Girl, I don't even know because we're not talking like that. Like it was just like
I'm
an
kidding.
exchange of niceties or whatever. But it's nice. It's nice to see people who were in your life happy, and doing well. Like I think it would be more upsetting to me, or I think the few instances that are upsetting, I guess that's a feeling I can tie to it, are the people who are not doing well. And that's has no reflection on me, I guess, but that sucks because you want people to do well. So I don't know.
So true. And that's something I think what I liked about what Candace Owens was talking about was the
Girl, quit talking about her.
victim mindset
Ugh.
or victim mentality. And I feel like the people I know who are suffering, and I did this I did this for years. And it's just like being in that victim mindset. Like like the whole world is against you and you have no power to thrive. Like it's just the whole world.
But
Like,
you know how those words are used from her mouth, right? Like you know how people are using that sentiment.
well, she said in her example, she said it's like telling me as a black woman that I have no agency and I can't do anything because I'm black and because of history. So I don't know how else is she saying it? That's how she said it in that context in that interview.
Okay, and so then when white Republicans repost it and say, see, this is what's wrong with black people.
Oh yeah, we talked about this, didn't we? She's like the
Yeah.
poster, yeah.
Yes.
But it's
That's
like
why
it's
I'm
the
like,
same
I'm
thing.
not even trying to hear her. Did you know I could get rid of my huge stomach with just 1 teaspoon of this at night recommended
Not
medication?
huge.
Can they stop texting me?
Why huge though? Not huge.
I've gotten it 4 times since I last showed you that. Someone's playing on my phone. I feel like the Dave Chappelle episode. I don't like when people play
Play on
on
my
my phone. When keeping it real goes wrong or whatever. Like this is just, I'm getting
I'm
all
gonna
these
have to go
spam
watch that
texts.
later. I love Dave Chappelle.
I don't like people playing on my phone.
Oh,
Yeah, but I could lose my huge gut, it says.
huge. I'm mad they gotta say
People
huge.
are rude, right? Or you don't
Not
even know
huge.
me. What you know about my huge gut?
Huge.
It's terrible.
Huge.
Terrible. My
Huge.
huge. Woo, girl. Anyways, so closure is an independent exercise, something you have to do and be at peace with and find for yourself, because no one can give it to you.
Yeah. And you can't psych yourself out either. You can't say I'm fine. I'm totally fine. Totally fine. Like I hate when people do that. It's like it's okay
I cannot do that.
to
I
admit
can't
that
lie to. I can't fake to myself.
you
Who am I faking
cannot.
for?
It's the weirdest feeling. It's like a brain warp. I've tried to lie to myself before. It's a horrible feeling. You can't. Like and deep inside.
Yeah. And what you give energy to, you manifest. So try to keep it positive.
I really try to like and sometimes closure looks like setting healthy boundaries like but yeah, you have to control your energy and your peace and your mindset. And so if closure is it's going to take for you to move on from something and to thrive and to live your life, then what does it look like? Like you said, it's an independent thing. You may have wished you had gotten an apology, but you have to be at peace that you didn't.
Yeah.
That peace.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, this wine. What is this? This is some
You got me. I feel like
a little wine spritzer I got at Target is rocking my whole universe.
I feel like I need to get me a little drinky drink.
Closure.
Topo Chico.
Well, speaking of closure, we need to close this episode right on up.
Yeah, girl, let's do it.
I hope you've achieved or reached closure in all items in your life that need closing.
You too, boo.
I'm working on it.
Stop laughing. I mean, I'm sorry.